Okay, in this video what I'm going to do is show you how I make this bowl here. This is 144 segments per row, so there'll be 6,500 pieces here around. And I got the spreadsheets here that calculates how much of each wood do I need to cut up. So that's what I'm doing here is I'll cut them in strips like this, sand them down to size, and then I will bundle them up like this here. So then I have 8 stacked on top of each other, and then I put tape on the side here to kind of tear out on the wood when I'm cutting it. So this piece here is going to have 9 different types of wood here, and I'll get on to sanding these down to size now. So once I get everything sanded down, then I glue the end like this, put some glue on, and each row do that. I make one little package here. So I'll put, once it's all glued up and sanded down to size, I'll put this painter's tape on it. And then when I cut it, it's like cutting one stick. So when you glue it up, I want to try to make sure that end of it is, they're pretty well lined up, not going in an angle or anything, just kind of going straight up, like so. So it's nice and square. And then all I do is put a clamp on it, let them dry. So I got the first row glued on here. This is closed segment here, and you see me split it and then glue it back together here, and then glue it onto the base. And that will create a nice solid base for the bowl. This will be a rounded foot on the bowl. So for the first row that we're putting down here, the pieces are 0.127 inches, and they're a little over an inch long. So for the first 9 rows or so, I'll use this wider material, 1-inch stuff. And then while the base is expanding quickly, and then when I up further on the walls, then I'll change it to 0.75 or thereabouts. So for the next row, its plan's calling for 0.187 inches for each piece. The last one was 0.18, so 7 thousandths of an inch difference here. So I'll put the 0.07007 in there. Feeler gauge in, tighten her down, and move her over. 186, looking good. 7, looking good. Okay, so 9 open segment rows are on now, and the next row will be all maple. Actually, the next 11 rows will be all maple, so should go a little faster. So I just want to show you, this is 144 pieces right here. So there's a group of 8 right here. So there's 6 high each one, and there's 18 of these guys total. 18 times 8 is 144. So that's the pile of wood I'll be putting on my next row. So what I like to do is use a sander on here before I use any metal tools to get rid of the edges on it. So I'll just do that there, and then I can start with the tools to kind of make it so it doesn't catch these little edges. Now we're getting into the fun part here. So I'll be putting on the 9 blacks and then the whites here. So then the next row will start with the colors here. So the next row is 200 or 2/1000 of an inch smaller than the other one. So this is a feeler gauge size I'm going to put in there. So I'm making it smaller, so I gotta take the clamp off, put the feeler gauge in, put it in, push tight, lock her down. Sometimes I just leave the feeler gauge in there by how it is, or I loosen up the clamp, push it solid against it, and then pick some wood to cut. Start with white. Slide the, it's very critical it's clean in here, there's no sawdust, and it's also critical at the end here that there's nothing pushing, in the way like this tape or slivers or whatever. So push that in nice, put my little push board in there, get my clamp down there, and then cut. Need to see how big this is. So we were looking for 0.222 actually, so that's 1/1000 off here, so I couldn't possibly get better than that. Okay, so we have one final row to do here, the top row, and I'm making this closed segment. So it takes a little bit of time to get it dialed in, the pieces cut, so I don't cut them all at one time. I'll cut, you'll see here. The first piece that I put down, I have to make sure that's nice and dry and the glue so it doesn't slip on me later. So I'll have to let this sit for a few minutes here, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. Let that dry nicely, and then I can start slipping in the rest of them. You'll see that as we go here. It's hard for you to see this, but it is starting to veer in a little bit, so that means I have too much of an angle, so I tap the saw to have a little bit less of an angle and cut another bundle and see where that goes. Well, I've been going back and forth on this angle thing, and I think I finally got it here. Just kind of got to go back and forth with the saw and make sure you're staying, you want them all the pieces lined up, so that's the most critical thing, having them lined up. So one thing you can do is if you put more than you really need on the edge here and squeeze it in, you'll see that it's squeezing out all the way through. That's one good indicator that you're got it pretty evened up. So glue on the two sides and slide her in. Here's so I got the angle pretty good now, so. The next thing is to make the center part here. So I'm going to use these three colors here to make this guy. This is black, here is going to be wangi, brown is babinga, white is maple. This outside is going to be maple also, but a little colored. It's going to be more white than that. So I'll start cutting these guys up and gluing it. I'll show you what I do. So I'm doing something a little unique here. So I made this ring right here. Then I put a groove in it. And that groove will be used to set this in it. So once I get this glued in place, then what I'll do is clean the inside, so make that a thinner wall. Right now it's a lot thicker than I want it, so I'll make it a thin wall, approximately that thick right there. So then it'll look like two rings, but it'll only be one. As I'm pressing this, the glue is oozing out, so that's a good sign that we have a nice tight fit here. I think that's it. Let the glue dry now. I cut all them pieces and now I got them glued together here. Black and brown, wangi and babinga. So I'll let them dry and then we'll start the next phase. So now I'm gluing on the trim pieces here on the outside. So there's one glue up, two glue ups, three glue ups total. There's one glue up, two glue ups, three glue ups. So I got all sides on, just got to clean them up a little bit here. That looks good. Now I'll put a layer of white. Last of the white glued on. You can see I was pretty down to just a thin here.